You're watching WSOC Tonight. We're live at 11. First tonight, we want you to take a look at this beautiful, beautiful little girl, 4-year-old Miegellic Young. Tomorrow marks 1 year since investigators say they found her buried in the backyard of her home in Northwest Charlotte.
They believe that her mother killed her months earlier in 2020. Our Erica Jackson reflects on that case and spoke with advocates about how to prevent child abuse.
Pictures show Miegellic Young's bright eyes and big smile. I uncovered more than 100 pages of court and police documents that paint a different picture.
They're reporting that there's some concern that this child may be dead. It says that that no one has seen the child since 2020.
CMPD investigators believe Miegellic's mother, Malika Bennett, killed her in 2020 and tried to cover it up. Police didn't find her remains until May 2021. Miegellic's 13-year-old sister told detectives Bennett punished Miegellic for soiling her pants. She said the 4-year-old was forced to stand in the laundry room for 3 days before she fell and hit her head. The teen told investigators she helped her mom bury Miegellic's body in the backyard of where they lived with 6 other children.
The police has been trying to get in contact with me so they can question me regarding a missing persons report that's pertaining to my daughter.
Bennett has a history of run-ins with CMPD. Court documents show Bennett was arrested for child abuse earlier in 2020 for leaving a child alone for more than a day. Court documents reveal judges disposed several cases involving Bennett where she was charged with misdemeanor child abuse and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Miegellic's autopsy also showed signs of malnutrition.
Anytime there's trauma in a family, it affects everybody in that family system in some form or fashion.
I found more than a dozen CMPD reports dating back to 2017 where Bennett was listed as a victim. She told CMPD officers she was assaulted and a victim of vandalism in those domestic-related cases. Several reports show she had a restraining order against the suspect. Gail Smith works with victims of domestic violence through her nonprofit, Dahlia Grove. She believes there can be a correlation between domestic violence and child abuse.
It does affect their personality, it affects their decision making, it affects their brain development, it affects everything.
Domestic violence and child abuse are absolutely related. They're both forms of abuse. They both have elements of power and control.
Andrew Oliver with Pat's Place Child Advocacy Center works closely with CMPD and victims of child abuse. Police reports show children were present during some of these domestic disputes.
Children can get caught up in the middle of domestic violence. We know that if domestic violence is occurring in the home, children witness it about half the time that it happens.
That's why he says it's important to spot signs of domestic abuse and child maltreatment. Oliver says you can act as eyes and ears to protect the most vulnerable victims.
Child abuse happens in every single neighborhood, in every part of the town, every single day.
Here in Uptown, trained professionals with child abuse, domestic violence, and sexual assault support groups provide help at what's called the Survivor Resource Center. It opened in 2021. A larger scale center is in the works, which will provide walk-in services to survivors under one roof. Back to you.
And we want you to know there are resources if you think child abuse is happening. There are 2 hotlines. The number for Prevent Child Abuse North Carolina, 1-800-CHILDREN, and the National Abuse Hotline, 1-800-4-CHILD.